Hello. It is almost the end of 2023, which means I think it's time for a state of the fleet, mostly because I'm waiting for parts on everything and I need something to film for this week. So I'm going to walk you through all of the projects, whether I'm filming them or not. All right, so I'm gonna walk you guys through everything that we've got here in the shop. I mean, anything I'm working on, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm always going to film it, right? Because some stuff is just, it's either too big a job or I have to get it done immediately, and filming it can kind of like, really slow me down in doing that. Or it's something that I've already filmed 3 or 4 times, and I don't want to do too much repetition, I guess. So, I'm going to walk you through all the things. And so to start, we're going to have a look at Rita. I've got quite a lot of stuff that I want to do to this car, including either building another engine or resealing the 1385 that I originally built for this car, because it's leaking pretty bad, but it runs great. One of the other really big jobs that I got to do is the wiring, because it's a mess. This car was pretty much the first car that I've ever wired completely start to finish, and when I was doing that, it was on a very strict time schedule to get it done for a rally, and I had to do the whole thing in like a day and a half, and I planned it out ahead of time, but it was just poor execution. I know better now, and there's things that I want to update my updates with, so I'm likely going to end up pulling everything out and starting over. And then there's little like cosmetic stuff. I lost the trim on that. My window frames are kind of falling apart, so I've got that zip tied up. One of the fenders is aftermarket, and so the wheel sits deeper in the fender. I think it's this side. Once there's weight on it, the wheel is physically further back, and it's because the aftermarket fender is wider. So, if I have the money at any point, I'd like to get a correct fender and have it re-painted and installed so that the ass end looks correct. I also want to get drop plates for the rear. It'd be nice to get disc brakes for the rear, because I'm tired of, losing all my fluid on stuff. The driver's door also closes like crap because it just doesn't, I bent the hell out of it, so it sags bad. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But the interior is good for the most part. I may put a different wheel in it, I don't know. Obviously going to keep that shifter. I've got a door panel to kind of fix. That's kind of it. It's always been a good car. It's my first car, the first car that I kind of built myself and taught myself on. So I really want to get on this. I miss Rita a lot. Which then, of course, brings us to Clementine. If you follow me on Instagram, which you can do at WickedWorks, you may have seen this. which was great until Rachel and I took the car around the block, and I'm not actually getting third and fourth. So I have to pull the engine and trans out of this again, and I either need to figure out what's going on with the hockey stick, because I don't think I'm getting enough rotation for it to actually get the third and fourth lever, or there's another customer car that we're going to look at that I had to order a Fritz Tools rear wheel bearing puller for a swing axle. And I think if I have that, I'm going to try to actually rebuild the 58 gearbox that I have, the other split case, which I will film for you guys. And then I'll actually put that in here, because the issue with this is actually that I can't use any not 1960 nose cone bits on that to make things fit. So I've got to, I got to figure it out, and I think I have it. Outside of that, it also won't idle now because the carburetor's clogged full of schmoo. Trash truck is starting. I wonder how much that's picking up. Actually, not all that much. Okay, so y'all have already looked at that 100 times. So we're going to go on to the next thing, whatever that is. And I'm sure some of you remember this car. This car's been through a lot. It's also the car that is the subject of my most viewed video in 2023, how to remove your engine in less than 10 minutes. This poor car came in thinking it needed a tune-up, and then this happened. Oof, oof, oh! Okay. That's a lot. Oh God. So he needed a motor. And now that that's all done and running and driving and the engine's in, now it needs a rear wheel bearing because the transmission is howling. I did a little bit of diag with a pry bar, and it appears that the passenger rear axle bearing is toast. So that'll be another video coming soon, hopefully. Aside from that, we've got all the electrical kind of sorted out. That's all this is waiting for. I don't think there's going to be, other than the axle bearing, a lot more to be filmed with this car, and hopefully that'll be gone soon as well. And I know you remember this, the Pearl Scent 1960 Rag. We did Willwood disc brakes on the front of this. I also ended up putting a full synchro transmission in it, but one of the main shaft bearings is howling pretty bad, so I'm going to have to warranty that out and replace it again. Also, when I did that, I put a vintage speed shifter in it, which is great. I think this car really deserves it. We lowered the front end and put a narrowed beam in it and all that, so hopefully after we get the transmission squared away, that'll be it for this car for a while, because Justin and I have pretty much replaced everything on it at this point. I guess we can talk about Rachel's car, even though she isn't here. So we've got the body off. It's kind of going to sit for a bit. She's focusing on the chassis for now, which is in the other shop. And then hopefully over the winter we'll be able to finish that and get this going. afterwards. So we're trying to divide our time across the two. If I have any time, there's things that I want to do on it as well. But for right now, the body's just going to sit in here. We also have the Imperial. I'm doing a ton of metal work on this guy. Ian actually had an entire front clip sent in from Nebraska. It's gold, the golden schnoz. I had to remove this fender, which took ages. You can see all the bolts still stacked up over there. There's more bolts holding one of these fenders on than there are in like the entirety of a Beetle. I had to take that off to do some frame repairs on this bottom corner here. I almost have the, this little tab here is going to get cut off, but I almost have the rocker completely on. I just have a little bit more metal work to do over here and on the floor, and then I can start putting the fender back on. Then I've got to do the other side and the back and everything. This one I'm not filming because I just want to get it done. And I'd love to get the brand new interior out of my office in the house. I've been driving it with a cinder block. So this is another very large project that will carry me through the winter. There's also the Ghia that you guys have seen in the background of many things. I actually sold this to my landlord Cal after I owned it for 5 minutes. I was gonna flip it, and then Carl was like, no, don't sell it, I want it. I went, oh, okay. Thankfully, this was a running, driving car before it was pulled apart, so I don't think there's gonna be a lot to do. But thankfully, the pans have already been done, but unfortunately, a section of it was actually cut out and put on another car after they were done. So I'll have to fix that. But the chassis is basically done. Maybe some cleaning and a little bit of welding here and there, and some seam seal and paint, yada yada. And then most of the metal work actually has to be done to the car. This one, we're not going to touch the exterior at all. It is going to look like this. We just have to have the time and space to do that, because I've got another body off that I've got to do soon as well, which we're going to talk about later on. But that's the 74 Ghia. 70 Fiat, we're not going to touch anymore. That's up for sale. If you're interested in it, shoot me an email. It runs, it drives, it stops. It is definitely a project. Speaking of projects, we've also got the 69 full custom bug. I'm going to move my little English bike out of the way here. Beep, 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 beep. This is another very large project, as you've seen. I'm in the middle of kind of resealing the motor, getting ready to run that on a stand. And then once I get it running and it's good on the stand, I'm gonna have to wire this car and get it ready for the engine to go in. And then it'll be brakes, and then I think really it'll be done. A lot of the metal work's already been done. I don't think I'm gonna end up doing the interior. You know, so it definitely also needs a bath. She's dusty. I'm afraid to touch it, but yep. So that's that one. What else we got? There's also the Lancias that we've got to do something with at some point. If you recall, Ben and I got the gray one running. And the plan is to actually swap the entire subframe of that over to the patina car. We also want to pull the interior, the maroon interior, out of the gray car to put into the earlier patina car. I'm hoping to do something with that in the next few weeks here over Christmas break. I also basically have the brakes almost working or at least I did, almost working in the early car. Just kind of pulling everything apart, cleaning it, and putting it back together. I'm likely going to have to do most of that again. And then there's this. This is one of two yellow 1971 Super Beetles that I've been working on. They're actually owned by the same guy. One of them's early, one of them's late. I'm pretty sure this is the late one because it's got the plastic like 4-spoke wheel thing. I ended up doing just a top end on this engine last year because he'd been driving it around with the heads falling off for 2 or 3 years, and he'd brought it to I don't know how many shops to have the exhaust worked on, and every single time it never solved the problem. And then And then I told him it's because his heads were falling off. So I did a top end on this, and then shortly after he got this car back from me, he blew the engine up in the other one. And that's actually, that car was the one that I did my engine build series on. He blew that engine up pretty good. I think I actually have footage of that here. Yeah, so he needed a motor, so I built him a motor. That car's all set for the time being. I put a vintage speed shifter in that car too. Hopefully he'll want to do that to this. But I was supposed to do some, this is back here because it had some charging issues, which I already figured out. And then he said to me, can you figure out where all the water is coming in from the front? Which I did, and I'm going to show you that now. So you can see this panel here and that little hole up the top right over here. That panel is covering quite a large hole, and they did those very same kinds of welds over there on both sides and the corners, which means in the springtime this car is coming back and I'm taking the body off to do that. So that'll be a thing. Tell me if that's something you guys want to see. Do you want to watch us pull the body off? Well, me, because Ben's really busy and probably will be for quite some time. You want to watch me struggle to pull the body off of a 71 Super and do the firewall on? Is that something you're interested in seeing? Let me know down in the comments. Do the things. What's next? How about the 914? So this is a 1974 914 2-liter. It is fuel injection. I think it's a Bosch D-Jet. I took this car, I took this whole project over from a friend of mine who is closing his shop, and basically said that I would finish it for him. And it's been a goddamn nightmare ever since. I had to replace the cylinder heads, reseal the top end. There were a lot of missing FI components that me and my buddy Jim are still kind of tracing out. We did get it running, but it's running bad. It needed a starter, yada yada. I just had to pull everything on the top end apart again to install a cylinder head temp sensor. So another one that I'm not filming because it's just so much, and I just want to get it done. But it's here, and it's one of the things that's taking up a lot of my time and a lot of my space, honestly. There's also Oscar the bus. This is a 1975 bay window that's got a Type 4 in it, or out of it at the moment. This is my buddy Parker's bus. It's really, really solid. It just stinks real bad. We're just gonna make this run, stop, and drive. Run, drive, and stop. Run, drive, stop, yes. I've got the engine out of it right now. I did a little bit of a reseal on that, mostly just push rod tubes and the oil cooler. I also had the fuel tank out so that I could do the sending unit, but the fuel tank's bad, so we're doing a fuel tank. I'm waiting for that to come in. He already did like axles and stuff like that, so once I get the engine squared away and the fuel tank squared away, I have to do the shift rod bushings as well, and then the drivetrain can go back in, fuel tank can go back in, all of that, and then I can do the brakes, and hopefully that'll be it. I am going to film everything that I possibly can on this because it's a really clean bus, and it'll be cool to get that back on the road. So that's coming soon. I'm waiting on parts. They have shipped. A lot of them are going to arrive today, I hope. So yeah, that's it for Oscar. Well, that's it, friends. That's kind of everything that I've got going on over the winter and potentially most of next year, because we all know that things snowball and take a lot longer than we wanted them to. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you're most excited about seeing next year, or things that you want to see that maybe I haven't mentioned. I can tell you right now that Rachel and I are planning something exquisitely stupid. So there may be some times where you don't get something for like a week or two because we're busy. And please stand by us through that. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment, share with your friends. You can follow me on Instagram at WickedWorks. Shoot me an email at wickedworksvw@gmail.com if you have any questions or things you have seen that you may want to buy. This 914 is going to be for sale when I'm done with it. The race car just sold. The Fiat's still for sale. I can always put you in touch with the people selling those, as well as we offer winter storage. So shoot me an email if you need that. And if you have a car that you want worked on, do it yourself.